All right. Hello, everyone. Stefan here from WoodEye, apparently.
And I'm Philip.
Today we are trying a new method here to reach you as a customer, since we are, forced not to travel in the current situations. So this is a new idea we have. Today we will talk a bit about market status, what's happening, with our customers and all that situation in the current Corona crisis. Solutions we have, adapted to solve the situation or make it better to help you as a customer. And then in the end here, we will do a Q&A, so question and answer if you have any particular things you want to ask about. And you can do that live here on the Facebook,
in the chat, yeah.
Or on the chat, or you have to send an email to info@woodeye.com. So welcome to this short little presentation today.
Yep. So if we start off a little bit with the current situation, I mean, everybody knows about the Corona situation. It's a worldwide thing, and we are all trying to adapt to that. So we are, of course, doing our part in that. And, well, since a couple of weeks ago, we are, to furthest possible extent, working from home. So that is one of the measures that we're taking to try to do our part in taking responsibility not to spread any infection. But of course, some of us are here since certain tasks must be done from the office, but it's very few people here, so there's plenty of space to move about for those who actually are here and not to be too close to each other. So we are also taking some, let's say, technical steps to try to work around the situation that is limiting our mobility, which I will get back to. Looking then a little bit at the market situation for the woodworking industry, we have been in touch with a great deal of our customers, and 80 to 90% are in fact running. A lot of them are running at normal speed. Some are a little bit reduced production capacity at this point, and some are in fact seeing a high demand thanks to a very high activity in the DIY sector, at least here in Sweden. Certain what's it called, like building
people renovating at home,
yes.
Doing home fixing, since some people are even are not working at this point, since a lot of productions are closed in Sweden due to lack of parts like Volvo trucks, etc. Yeah. These people are now at home, and I guess they do a lot of renovating or stuff like this.
Yes, so certain stores have noted a 250% increase last month compared to the same month last year. So that speaks for itself, and we actually have a customer that is experiencing a very high demand for their products, which is mostly building materials then. So it's not as grim as it sometimes is portrayed. There are actually lights or highlights as well here.
Yeah, and I think maybe if the world starting to open up a bit, hopefully we could see this effect coming in more countries, I guess, in the next maybe weeks or months, but in the near future, I would think, and I certainly hope that.
For sure, yeah. So getting back then to the new solutions that we are implementing to work around the situation, we are doing to handle the training, which is a step in the delivery of the scanners. We are doing a lot of remote training, and now you should see a clip here of a remote training we did for a customer in the Ukraine, where we have built a light box which can show what the defects actually look like in real life, where we can discuss them. We can look in very small detail together with you to see what they actually look like in real life as compared to how they appear in the WoodEye user interface. So this technology is also then being implemented for remote demos. And apart from the fact that the customer will not be present here. The demo works, I would say, pretty much as it would usually. You send us the material, we scan it, we try to tweak the settings to find what you're looking for, basically, and we can use the lightbox in this example as well to discuss specific defects that are.
And we're currently running, I think, a night training now for a new customer in New Zealand. So, I mean, we can adapt time-wise and make it fit for everybody. And I think we've done maybe 4 or 5 actually now remote trainings, customer trainings. So we can do that and have the scanner shipped and hopefully installed by some other systems that we'll come into a bit later in the discussion here. Also remote demonstration or tests. I think at the same level, 4 or 5 of them. And I think we will see an increase, and maybe this is something we probably or will use, I think, a bit more in the future, you know, to reduce the amount of travel you need to do. I mean, you can do an initial training or you can do an initial demo, and if the customer wants to continue there, you can for sure come here. You're always welcome here. I mean,
of course.
We're also developing a system for e-learning. Because we see that we spend a lot of time the first week of training just learning, you know, the system, how it works, the menus, all that, you know, which is important to know. But we believe this is something you could do remotely with the e-learning system the week or the weeks before you come to us. And by doing so, we can spend more, you know, valuable time and focus on the really important stuff during training, which is, you know, your grades, your products, how to set them up, how to change them, and stuff like that. So this is, you will see something on the screen here showing, you know, the draft of that e-learning system, which I think will be launched here in the near future. So yeah, we try, you know, and find, you know, lots of new methods here to work around the situation, of course.
It's kind of WoodEye 101, one could say, and then we go into detail once you get here.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to make efficient use of everybody's time, basically.
We also have developed, but we are trying to use augmented reality, that since we cannot travel again then to many places, of course, we have a system here with the glasses, so we can actually, we as the techs in our side can see your side of the problem. So I mean, we can see and you know, instruct you as a customer that this is the, you know, the laser you need to change. This is how we should align it, or this is the component you need to change, or, you know, whatever parts that you are having trouble with that should be replaced. We believe we can do that quite nicely here, as you see on the screen. By seeing what you see. I mean, it's always talking on the phone, etc., talking, you know, on the video, but when we see what you see, it's a totally different, you know, functionality in this type of support, I would say. So this is something we actually started with before Corona, but we see that certainly now there's a great use for it.
Sure.
And I think we will see more of that, you know, in general, so that we can use this more and reduce the traveling. But I think most important, you can have whatever problem you have taken care of as fast as possible, not having to wait for the guy or person traveling to you.
Sure.
You can do that maybe in half an hour. So, and by, you know, we can point, you know, as you see, there's a pointer in the screen. We can point at particular, this is, you know, check that cable, or, you know, unhook that cable and rehook it, whatever the technical problem is at that point.
We can also pause your image to make sure that we are actually pointing at the correct component, so that doesn't move about. So it's there are several functions that we use to make sure that you actually get the information that we're trying to communicate. So yeah, I think it's a good tool.
Yeah. Yeah, like Philip said here, I mean, what do we do in this situation? Most people here work from home, which means most people are not here. We are a few here today, Philip, me, and Susanna, who you don't see here behind the screen, running this show that we actually put together with parts we found in the office. So this is really an interesting setup, which hopefully works nice.
Yeah, and it's our first time, so don't be too harsh on the reviews of this, I guess.
If we get enough likes, we will come back. And is that a threat or promise? I don't know. You have to consider that from your own point of view.
You tell us. Yeah.
We also put together a Q&A in terms of questions around WoodEye or whatever. We got some coming in before. We had an email out and asked you to send in, and we got some of those. First one here was main advantages of the WoodEye scanner. In general, I would say the feeling and experience we have when we do a demo or a test, that people are impressed about the detection we have, the defects we can see, the colorations we can see. If you look at the flooring side, etc., I think this is what people tend to be impressed with from our perspective. Of course, you all are welcome to make a test like that. So, detection, I think this is one of our big advantages. I think we had another one here referring to, do we prefer any particular saw manufacturer? No, I mean, we make scanners, period, and we think it's fine. The customer should pick the options he likes and think works best. WoodEye scanners works, I think, with most general brands on the market from a saw point of view. The connection between scanner and saw is quite generic today. That's not a concern whatsoever, I would say. So from a saw perspective, we don't really have any hard preference on that side. Scanning rough sawn lumber was another question we received here. We do. Actually, the product I talked about there, doing training for in New Zealand, is a rough sawn lumber project. Of course, there are differences scanning, plain lumber and rough sawn lumber in terms of what you can start to look for in terms of smaller defects or super small defects, I would say. So there will always be a difference in that perspective, how detailed you can be sawn versus planed or molded lumber. I think you got a couple now?
Yes. So, question being, what's your experience in scanning wet or green lumber? Well, it is possible for sure. However, it is a little bit tricky, since the surface of the lumber will change. The appearance will change when it oxidizes. So, in order to do this, the time from when the lumber is sawn to when it's scanned must be quite uniform, so that you get the same amount of oxidation between the pieces. Otherwise, you will have a very big difference in what the surface looks like, and that may cause some troubles. But yes, it is possible. However, it demands certain things from the mechanization and the line, I would say. Is it possible to scan painted surfaces? Yes. Short answer, yes. It is possible. We have customers who do this, who scan, for instance, painted moldings as a final inspection of the product. So that is very much possible, and it works very well, I would say. And we have gotten a question about other materials such as MDF, HDF. This is also possible to handle. I mean, historically we have put our focus on, let's say, solid wood, but of course a lot of the technology that we have developed for solid wood scanning is transferable to also MDF, HDF, such as roughness and dimensional color deviations. So it is possible, and we are also putting in a little bit more work on this side to refine those possibilities even further, I would say. Are profiled products possible to scan? Yep, it is also possible. A lot of our customers work with interior paneling, for instance, or exterior as well, which often have a tongue and a groove. So that works just fine. We create a reference piece what the tongue and the groove should look like, and then we counter reference basically the pieces coming through to that reference piece. So that works just fine.
News in the product line, we are widening our product line, you could say, in this case, since we are right now working on a scanner for wide material. We have a number of projects that we look at, but we have an actual product in terms of platen production, where you make cross-laminated platen, I would say, not CLT, but thin material platen. I don't know if you say that there's a German word, but it's big sheets of cross-laminated material to make these big sheets of wood. And this is a scanner that will be capable of scanning, in this case, up to 2 meters wide, so a little more than 6 feet. And it will have, I would say, the same capabilities as any regular WoodEye scanner in terms of resolution, speed, detection. We are also looking into the plywood production using the same product, because there is a lot of plywood made in the world, and that's normally even not so wide. I mean, it's up to 1600 millimeters. So these, I would say, are, you know, the new stuff we're looking at today is going wider with the scanner, but also we try to go even, you know, closer to the end product, more to final inspection. We are looking at the final parquet board after we put the lamellas together and made a parquet board that you sell to the people to put down at home. To finally inspect that board instead of manually. Today you do a lot of manual inspection of that type of product. So. And updates for WoodEye 6 coming soon. I mean, we have I'm staring upstairs here now, which is very empty, but that's our development department. And we are continuously developing our product and software. We do a number of releases per year, I would say somewhere between 2 and 4, depending on the size of the release and functionality, etc. So there is, you know, basically always a new release or a new release coming pretty soon for the WoodEye 6 software platform today. So you should always, you know, check in on that, because a lot of new functions comes which, you know, are invented and could be useful in your production that wasn't invented at the time when you bought your scanner. So I think this is stuff to look into.
Sure.
Handling the corona is, as we started the presentation here, I mean, we a lot of video work, a lot of, you know, remote training. We will try some actually remote installations also to see if we can have the scanner moved in place by using these methods, because I mean, scanners will be shipped, scanners will have to be installed, of course, because people are running production. It's not like production has stopped. So we will do a bit of that. So absolutely, we try everything we can with technique we can use.
All right. Which is your best market at this point? Well, speaking in geographical terms, I mean, WoodEye is it's a global company in the sense that we act on a global market, but Central Europe is generally a very strong market for us. We have been, over the last year, a little bit more than a year, we have been putting a lot of effort into the French market, which has been showing a lot of interest, and our efforts are starting to pay off now, I would say, in terms of sold projects or sold scanners that are currently in the delivery process. If we look then at markets application-wise, well, generally I would say that remanufacture is our core market, and we have a special edge in hardwood applications, and well, that's where we are the market leader, actually. So that's a good market for us. All right, which markets are expanding, and what are the market trends you're seeing in terms of automation? Well, like I just mentioned, France is a market that seems to be growing. I mean, showing a lot of interest for automation and going from manual grading and sorting to digital sorting, or using scanner, if you will. But as a general trend, it seems that producers making high-value products are more and more interested in using this kind of technology to ensure that they have a very level quality in their products, and of course to make sure that they get as much product as possible, since it's a high-grade product. And I mean, most companies act on a global market, so everybody's trying to find that extra bit of yield that is possible to find, and that little bit of extra profitability that you can get from your production. So using this kind of technology is one of them, I guess.
I think we got a question here about exporting and seeing, live information from the WoodEye scanner as it's producing lumber or producing wood or products. So we did present at Ligna, I think last Ligna here, an idea of a system, a cloud-based system, where you as a customer could go in and in real time, always monitor and see your production results, whatever is going on. This is still ongoing, and we hope to launch a product here in the near future. There has been, some issues to make sure that we take care of your, the customer intellectual property here. So we are a bit maybe locked down there trying to fix this to make the system as safe as possibly can be, because these are, sensitive data, some of it not sensitive. So this is what we are trying to have a solution for. So this real life performance data sent to other systems displays to display, this is something we do in the WoodEye cloud thing. Export formats other than CSV, Excel. I mean, we have in the WoodEye, as many of you know that are using it, there is an XML protocol how to bring data from WoodEye and send information to WoodEye, what to produce, and etc. Needless to say, if maybe Excel CSV is not the final format, maybe we need to put in some other format. We can look at that, but in general, it's difficult as a scanner supplier to make adaptations to all business systems around the world. There are so many business systems operating, so we don't have the number of people to adapt to all of these systems, but of course it can always be looked into modifications to the systems we have. I think we absolutely could be open to that, to answer that question. Hopefully that was an answer. Rot, we have a question from about rot detection. Yeah, I mean, this is anything with the same color as something else, as you know, it's difficult. I mean, maybe since you installed your scanners with WoodEye 5, today we have WoodEye 6, and I think we have probably moved along with the software quite a bit. So if this software can be applied to your scanner, I don't know in detail exactly which scanner you have, because there are a number of WoodEye 5C or 5C scanners. But if you have the correct WoodEye 5C, I think there are, improvements that could be installed in terms of updates and changes in how you set the grades and defect detection. So I think we have to look at that separate case there to fully understand what could we help you with, or what could we improve for you. But there, absolutely, the function as such has been improved due to better software, better detection.
Sure. So I guess in that one, if you make contacts with us afterwards, yeah, we can look into this specific scanner in detail and give you more detailed answer once we know which scanner it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, get in touch with our Morten here is our after sales. He's not here right now, but you can talk to Morten or talk to the your sales contact at WoodEye or whom it is. We will certainly look into that situation.
Sure,
be happy to.
Of course.
I think this concluded the questions we had for today, and who knows, we might be back, not in next week, but give it some time, and we will evaluate this if this is a method that we're going to continue to do, as we said, and yeah, maybe you will see us back here.
Yeah, I mean, if you liked it, let us know, and yeah, like Stefan said, we definitely aim towards doing more of these, and well, we hope you enjoyed the show, like they say on television. So
we are currently at least preparing for maybe another second session of this, which is looking into the return of investment when you buy a scanner, compared, going from manual to scanner, or going from old scanner to new scanner. We have a lot of time. We don't travel. We are traveling people. Normally, we sit like this, but in an airplane.
yeah.
So now, but we have time to spend on investigating, I guess, a bit more. And this is one of them. And if we come up with some interesting, information and numbers, this would be one subject to have on the next session like this. Absolutely. So stay tuned, and you might hear a return on investment. All right.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon.